Hey everybody, I'm Yvonne Williams with Back to Earth Creations, and in this video I'm just making an art piece for in my booth. One of my friends here on YouTube, Jim, had sent me some very lovely turquoise beads that are like very like nuggets. They're very irregularly shaped. And I thought I would make a super pretty art piece necklace out of it for selling out of the booth. Because at the time of recording, our upcoming show is Tokyo and Tulsa, and I don't have I need inventory bad, y'all. So, let's get started. The stuff that I have here that I'm working with is I wanted to accent it with these like really nice antique copper parawire. So I'm using 18 gauge parawire. I have my regular arsenal of pliers. Bent nose in 2 sizes, chain nose, round nose in 2 sizes, flat nose, wire snips, and nylon jaw pliers. There'll be links to all of this stuff down in the video description below for like the tools that I wish I had invested in right from the get-go. I have this really neat turquoise cabochon. Now this is not the Sleeping Beauty turquoise that people are used to seeing. This is just like low quality but beautiful. Like I disagree sometimes with the quality because that doesn't mean that it's like going to break or something. It's just that the gem quality isn't as high. But to me, like, I love the way it looks with the matrices and the color variation and everything. Sorry for the horrible lighting. It's nighttime because that's when I work best. And then I have this like cute little leaf charm, and I was like, well, I want that in there. And then I've got some different antiqued copper rondels that are just like super tiny, cute little beads, and then some little bead caps that look like little flowers that you'll see me work with a little bit more here. And then I also have some 4mm moss agate. And then I had coiled and cut myself some 18 gauge 3/16 enameled copper rings because I like the weight to copper. So with these tools and materials in mind, I'm going to make a necklace. So so I don't really know exactly where I want to go with this piece yet. But I'm going to start, I guess, by making a bunch of links to, compose the, well, you can't see where I'm pointing, to compose where it's going to be sitting on the neck. So I was thinking I could start with a rondel, and then I just recently trimmed all my nails off, a 4mm bead, so it's kind of hard to pick stuff up, a bead cap, a nugget. I was hoping the bead caps would sit kind of okay against the nuggets, Yeah, there we go. And then another bead cap, another 4mm bead, and then another rondel. Then I'm going to come in here, and right now I'm working off the spool, which means the wire is still attached. I'm not going to bother right now with doing wrapped links because this is a pretty heavy gauge wire and I don't really feel like doing wrapped links. So I'm just going to do a little loop on the ends like that. Bending a 90-degree bend. Snipping the wire, and just bending that around. Yeah, I really like the way that looks, especially with like the contrast between the kind of rough nugget and then the round beads. Super cool. So I'm going to do this a bunch more. I'll demonstrate one more time. So I'm threading on one of the rondels. And I really like these rondels because they look almost steampunky. In that they are a little bit thicker than some of the other rondels. They're like I mean 2 millimeters thick instead of just 1 millimeter thick, the way some of the other rondels I've gotten in the past have been. Sorry, I'm just kind of thinking out loud. Rambling. Putting on a bead cap. Let me see. That's a pretty nice shaped rondel. Words are just all blurred together, sorry. Picking up another bead. Putting on another rondel. That's the one that I couldn't thread through. So now I'm gonna bend 90-degree bend. Make a nice round loop. Push all my beads snug up against that loop. And I love these flat nose pliers because they have a super thin tip. Like, I love that. Because the thinner the tip is, the tighter up next to your beads it'll let you get whenever you're doing your bends. And just coming around. So just like that. So I'm going to get all of these beads made into links just like that. And then I'll meet y'all right back here. Hey y'all, so I wanted to show you guys my set of bead reamers that I actually think I need to replace because most of the like grinding bit on them, like I guess it's like diamond or what, it's like worn off. So I could really use, and this one like gets all crammed into its own handle really easily. But if you have a bead or something that the wire just isn't wanting to go through, sometimes, especially on these softer metal cast ones, you can just kind of get in there and open it up a bit. And in theory, it should slide right on. So I'm actually going to move up to the next size up. Just kind of get in here, and I'm holding on to the bead and just filing it down and open. And sometimes I'll just be like, it's not worth the effort, and move on to the next bead, especially if it's something like rondels like this, because it's like I know I'll be able to use it up in the future. Ah, there it goes, slides right on. So I'm gonna, you can see I've made some progress on making these little links, but I've started running into some beads that don't fit on my wire. Like this one here. You can see it had started to be drilled at one point, but that is not a complete hole. So this one, I guess that's where it goes through, maybe. And there'll be a link down in the video description of where I'm getting my new bead reamers from, because this is pathetic. I need new ones. And sometimes it's just a matter of whatever tumbling medium that they shine the beads up in. Sometimes it just gets gunked up in there, and you just need to clear it out. Now turquoise is a really soft stone, so I should be able to do something. Let's see if it didn't make any progress. Sometimes if you can't get it from one side, go ahead and try from the other. Ooch! Oh, that bent my wire pretty badly. I'm just gonna clear that out of the way. So this one might not be salvageable. Well, I don't know. A little bit of elbow grease. Let's see what that accomplishes. Because I really liked the shape and color of this one. I'd love to be able to use it. Ah, there we go. Push on through. Now I don't know how many beads I've shattered trying to do that too, though. So don't don't force it. And if ever I shatter a bead, I usually save the pieces and then set them into like a fairy house, or I don't know. I don't throw anything away. Y'all know me. So now I'll just be able to resume normal function. Keep on keeping on. stringing up these different beads and things. Now, I typically don't run into that problem if I'm stringing beads, but since I'm making, like, threading them with wire and making little links, this is an 18 gauge. It's much thicker than any kind of beading, like tiger tail or, what's another one? Fireline. That's another one I've used. Just like that. So now I want to start thinking, while I finish up these last couple of links, of how I'm going to join them together. I could just link them end to end, is always an option, but I do have these nice little chainmail rings that I might be able to make it a little bit more airy and open by throwing some links in there. So, and also I want to figure out how I'm going to wrap. I don't know if I should have that on the front. Maybe. I think that hides too much of the pretty stone though, in my opinion. Like, I save tricks like that for like uber bland stones, not for pretty pieces like that I want to showcase. Though, I mean, it is a little more, you know, it's not bland, but it's not, you know, a flashy piece of labradorite. And I think something that might go along really nicely with the earth tone colors of this would be maybe to do a wire wrapped tree, overlaying the front of the stone, like kind of maybe framing here on the side where it has this weird matrix. You know, I really like this patterning, but that was kind of like just a dark spot. And so I might have the tree kind of frame the edge of the cabochon. So that might be a thing that we do. Let's see how many this gets us, because I might be able to have enough to do a matching bracelet, because that makes me happy. Typically I try to make my necklaces to like a like 16 to 18 inch base, and then I'll do like 5 inches of extender chain to make it a little bit more adjustable. So let's see. I don't have a ruler or anything. Yeah, I do. Hello, ruler from middle school. So there's 12. So we're at 17 inches. So I don't think I'm going to make any more links right now. I'm going to save these for doing a bracelet, which the bracelet is going to basically just be these strung together just like that. Now I wanted to show you guys some of the different options too, though. Is I could take it and I could open a link and thread another link on. Oops. And then close it. And that looks pretty nice. But then I could also come in with the jump rings. Open it, thread 2 links on, and close it. And that also looks very nice. Hey Randy, can I get your opinion on something?
What?
Can I get your opinion on something?
Yeah, what's up?
Can you come over here and look at this and tell me which one you like better? Well, here, I'll hand them to you. Be right back, guys. It's for stringing them together for a necklace and bracelet set. I'm going to be having a cabochon attached to it. There's not any chainmail on the cabochon.
Like the shorter one better.
Okay. Right on. Thank you, thank you. Randy liked this one better. And I think I'm in agreement with him. This one has, I don't know, that little circle. I'd like it better if I could double up on that ring, but there's not enough room in the links. So, never know unless you experiment. So we'll save those rings for something else. And let me check and make sure I have an even number. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Perfect. And I'm just letting it happen in a completely random order. I'm not really like thinking about which one I'm grabbing next. Just whichever one my hand comes to first. Because I think that will give it a much more random, natural, chunky, fun feel. But you're doing your necklace, so you do you. I really like that, you guys. So I'm going to join this one together on this side. And you could always have a practice in asymmetry and have one side be joined with the jump rings and the other be the links looped together. There we go. Now we'll run into how to have this situated. Do we have it hanging down like this? Like pendulous hanging down? Do I have it wrapped like this? Where it's joining off to the sides? I think I like it like this, you guys. Lends itself some more to that really natural kind of hanging effect. I'm going to establish the diameter of the stone. What on earth is that? I don't know if someone just set off fireworks or if that was a bug on the window. Okay. So there's my perimeter. And this isn't going to be wasted at all. I can use this for the links for the bracelet. Now, do I make a tree first? And then do a pretty wire wrapped edge? Do I do a woven edge and a tree? I've seen a lot of people do stuff like that, and it's really pretty. I think I'm going to do the tree first and kind of go from there. Now to do that wire, I've got this over here, just some 26 gauge enameled copper. Oh, I'm so conflicted. I think I want to do a woven border, you guys. So that's my perimeter. This wire is. So I'm going to cut almost double that. And I'd like to do maybe a, I want to incorporate some copper beads around the edges. Okay, I'm going to do maybe a 4 wire, not 5, base. A nice wide base to be able to tuck the limbs of the trees behind. So there's that. Let me dig out some little copper beads. Oops. And I'll have links down in the video description below too of where you can get your own of these. Oh boy, do I use the 4mm? Because I could incorporate some of this moss agate around the edges too, which I think I might do that. So I'm going to do the moss agate and some 3mm copper beads. I hate mixing beads, but I'll go through and separate them later. Those I might all get, if I'm lucky, they'll all get used up and I won't have to sort them out on the back end. Okay. So now I'm just bringing off a full arm span. I'm bringing off 2 full arm spans. I don't want to have to add more wire. And I'm going to find the middle of my wire, line the ends up, get tangled on everything in existence. Okay, there we go. And I'm going to do I want coiling on the edges, and then the beads on, the coiling on the inside and the beads on the edge. So I'm going to do maybe 20 coils, 25. 1, 2, 3. And I'm gonna go ahead and separate the tails of the wire, the two halves. That way this doesn't happen. They're already tangled up. It's a mess. Oh no. Oh no. You can do it though. Just, oh mercy. How did this even happen? I'm worse than a cat with yarn, you guys. So it's just like untangling your hair. Just go to the end and start from down there. Hey Randy, I have a feeling this is going to be a rough one. Can you make me a cup of coffee?
A rough one?
Yeah. Oh no, not it again. Pretty please. Like, see?
What have you done?
I don't even know. Please bring me coffee so I don't cry on camera. I should have separated this sooner, you guys. The struggle is real, though. This is why I do this stuff live for you. Well, it's not live right now, but that's why I leave this stuff in. Okay, keep them nice and separated. It's so that y'all can see that it's all clever editing. I don't really know what I'm doing. And I wasn't counting. How many coils was that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If you can't see with your eyeballs, I actually feel with my fingernails. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Almost like braille style, just feeling the bumps of the coil. Okay, and then I'm going to bring those 20 coils down to the center. And this is a wire weave that I've seen quite a bit. I've used it in some of my other tutorials, but it looks kind of like fire. And I'm going to wrap once around both, adding in a second wire. I'm going to add in a third wire, and this one I'm only going to hook around 2. And then I'm going to place in another wire. And again, I'm only going to wrap around 2. Nope, that was just 1. Oops. I'm going to come to the back side of this one. I'm going to wrap around just like that. And now I'm going to add in another wire, and I'm going to wrap around 2. Now how am I going to add beads though, Vaughn? What are you doing? I'll go through and add them later. So, and I think I'm going to come in and get another camera angle for you guys on this one. But I'm going to come up between these last two, the 4th and the 5th wire, and then I'm going to hook around just 2, come up between the 3rd and the 4th wire, pressing it down the whole time with my fingernail, trying to get everything nice and tight, hook around 2, press up between 2 and 3, hook around 2, then hook in between 1 and 2. Sorry also for my filthy looking fingernails. My gloves didn't keep the leather stain out earlier, so I now have grubby looking hands, so sorry, but this is life now. And I'm just gonna do like, oh, should I do like 3 or 5? There's 3 rotations. That's going to make it pretty dense. I think I like it. Okay, so I'm only going to do 3 rotations around the 1. And then I'm going to come in once around 2. And then kind of come the next step up. And I'm going to complete this rotation and then give you guys a different camera angle so that hopefully you can see what it is that I'm doing. Because that's the whole point of doing this, is to teach you guys, which I do enjoy so much. Like, I've learned so much from all y'all, and met so many people. Like, at the time of recording, it's like a third of the way through July, and it was roughly this time back a year ago that Randy and I started to really consider becoming more serious about our YouTube presence for the business, and like, just, you never know unless you do it. And he's always been very supportive in everything that I do, but the difficult part was just figuring out, okay, what do I do? So it was right about now that I had started doing recording a video a day to prepare for my 30-day yoga challenge. Yeah, I think that's going to be really nice. It's kind of a nice density. And man, have we come away a ways in the past year, you guys. So I'm going to change the camera angle, and then we'll see if we talk more about that. Okay, so we're back here. You can kind of see what's going on. I've done 3 rotations around the 1 wire. And you can feel free to kind of open these wires up just a little bit. Make it easy on yourself if you can. And then I'm actually going to put a little bit of a bend in my wire and push up from behind, like right here. Just like that. And then kind of thread it off the end. So that's wrapped around 2 wires. And then I'm going to wrap around to the back side again. Sorry, I've got it pinned through everything. Now I'm going to push up again through the back. Next wire down. Slide that off the end. Come up. And slide now between wires 1 and 2. Kind of just stacking it just like that. You can see the wires biting into my calluses, but that's okay. That's what calluses are for. You'll build them up over time. Slide through. And sometimes I'll use my fingernail actually to like establish where it's going to be going. Push down. And come around. Just like that. And so now from here, I'm going to push up between wires 4 and 5. If it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Press down with my nail. Keep everything nice and snug the whole time you're going. And then I'm going to come between wires 2 and 3. Oops, sorry. I've got the camera like off to like a weird side. And then come between wires 3 and 4. Tighten it down. Come between wires 1 and 2. Tighten down. Come up between 2 and 3. I really hope that's making sense. Tighten down and then wrap around like that. So now from there, I'm just going to wrap around this 1 wire. That's 1, 2, 3 full rotations. And now I'm going to continue this weaving pattern on both sides until I've reached the pre-established. Am I zoomed in? Oh, I was zoomed in a whole bunch, guys. Okay, until I've reached the full length of my circumference of my cabochon that was established earlier. So I'm going to do that. and then I'll meet you all right back here. Okay, so things didn't go exactly as planned. I started off doing the 3 rotations in between like the first 4, and then I went from 3 to 4 to 5 to 6 to 7 to 8 to 9 to 10. And, and then just kept building until I reached almost my halfway point. Figured I'd stop just a little short of it just in case. And now, since I want this to fit around the tip here, I need to start actually doing some shaping. And so I think this is going to utilize my flat nose pliers. I'm going to come in and as best as I can give it a nice, it looks to be about like maybe a 75 or 80 degree bend in our wire. It's a little too much. Let me relax it out a bit. Yeah, like that. So now I'm going to want to come down and let me separate these guys just a little. These core wires. I'm not going to want to line up right here. Like that. I'm going to want to come out just a hair. A hair further, actually, than what I initially thought. And bend like that. And now I'm going to want to... Fortunately, if I bend too close, I can just pull the wire out some. But I'm going to keep bending just around like that. Oops. Okay, fortunately it didn't scrape my wire. Whew. That would have sucked. Pretty badly. So now you can see I've got this nice, great angled bend, gentle curve. I mean, it's not like a sharp 90 degree curve, and I think that's just fine. So then what I'm going to do from here is try my best to hook around 2 of the wires. And this first one here is going to be real important because it's going to get everything nice and snug together again. Feet up and below. Sorry for all the wire scraping noises. Tighten it down nice and snug with my fingernail, and you can see again here how that's starting to establish the spacing. Then come between wires 3 and 4. And then coming up from behind on 2 and 3. So you can see it's keeping it kind of nice and tight. Coming between wires 4 and 5. Then up behind between 3 and 4. And then wrapping around wires 4 and 5. And then I'm actually going to come all the way down to between 2 and 3 to start coming back up. Or climbing back down. I don't know. Words are hard. I've got my coffee, but you'll notice it is not inside of me yet. So that is the problem. And it's like 11 o'clock at night. And I should be going to bed, but instead I'm like, no, I must do this project. So just hooking them on down, all the way down. There we go. And so to mirror image the other side, I'm going to do, there's 1 and 2 and 3 full rotations around wire 1. and that's how that's come out. And I have to say I really like that. So now I'm going to continue repeating that pattern all the way down on this side until it matches. So then I'll meet y'all back here. Okay. Sorry, just trying to make sure I stay in frame. So you can see here now, this is how far we've come in our weaving. And I need to start getting this shaped around to actually fit the stone. So what I'm going to do for that is just gripping it with my fingers. Kind of just trying to steadily shape it around. Easier said than done though. Because I'm trying to keep it flat too, is the thing. Because if you let it pucker, then it's easy. Okay, so now around that way. I'm going to start curving this one around. I'm actually debating whether it needs a tree on it at all. Okay. So that kind of has, and I like how it increases in density down here at the bottom and then kind of opens up a little bit there at the top. But I'm not entirely certain how I'm going to be finishing off the top yet. And I think I actually do, I'm not going to say have to, but I do think I'd prefer to finish the frame before starting on the tree at all. So let's see then. I guess I could do one more rotation on each side. So I'm going to give it, just like it's a chainmail ring, just open it a bit like that. Around 1 and 2. Up between 1 and 2. Around 2 and 3. Between 2 and 3. And I don't want to jinx it, but for all the trouble I was having to start with, this has been relatively easy wrapping once I made sure to keep my wires from crossing. So that's good. Hooray for muscle memory. I think we're going to do 10, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's pretty good. And I guess I could do some crisscrossing up there at the top. I mean, this isn't a perfectly symmetrical stone, so I'm not worried about the sides being perfectly symmetrical. Okay, I think that is what I'm going to do. So then I'm going to keep just do some quick coiling to finish this up. Trying my best to keep it nice and tight. I always love the way something coiled looks. Then to finish off the ends here, I kind of just get wonky with it. Okay, using my bent nose pliers to tuck that tail down the rest of the way. Kind of keep that in line and parallel to the other ones. So I'm going to come around here to the back side. Sorry, my eyes are starting to get a little bleary. You can wrench that around, bring those out of the way. And just keep on coiling. I'm always interested to see how a piece is going to end up evolving, because I don't honestly always know what's going to be up with it, if that makes sense. Just kind of corkscrewing that around, getting silly with it. That's okay. We should be enjoying ourselves. If you're not enjoying it, then what's the point? You know, and I say that, but sometimes a project will be so just mind-numbingly frustrating. But it feels really good when you finish it. So, it's all in the process. Okay, so here I've gone ahead and I'm just pushing in from the back. These fingers are pushing in, my thumbs are pushing down, and that's kind of just shifting it around a little bit, make it a kind of three-dimensional. Ooh, I like that because it makes it look like a leaf, you guys. Ah! I just realized that completely was not intentional. But that makes me really happy. So then you were basically just going to do like a braid. Well, not really a braid. Boy, how am I going to get in there to do this without having a bunch of really complicated wires, because I don't want everything all bent out of shape either. I mean, if this is a leaf though, should I have something be like a stem coming up? Nah, I really like the idea of that weaving. Okay. So then this one's going behind, so this one's on top, below, on top, below. So then this wire is going to come in and go below, on top, below, on top, below. You know, I think, hush puppy, it's okay, it's just the neighbors coming home. I don't think that's gonna work. It's kind of dense. Like, I'm trying to cram a whole lot into a little bit of space. So what we might do then, as we come around here, I don't know, I really want to put a spiral in. So I'm going to trim this one kind of down close to the tip. And I'm going to just start spiraling it inward. I'm sorry guys, I thought we were going to do a tree on it. We might still, but I mean, I didn't see the leaf before. So we'll see what happens. Cute little spiral coming down just right up over the top like that. And now, should I do some weaving on the... Yes, I should do some weaving on those two. Right you serious? So I'm just bringing out from about a yard worth of like from my sternum to the end of my hand, and I'm just gonna grip this 26 gauge wire, do 10 wraps, wrap down that tail because there's no sense in wasting it. Even if it's just a centimeter of wire, it's still got me 3 or 4 coils. There we go. Tucking that tail down. And so I'm going to bring that in all the way, flush with my other weaving. And then I'm going to wrap 1, 2. And then I'm going to wrap, what's that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm actually going to bring this up to the camera so you can kind of see there. I'm going to wrap once and twice around those 2 wires, snug that down nice and tight, and then I'm going to wrap 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then 1 and 2, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 1 and 2. Y'all, I am so excited about this. 2, 3, 4, 5. And that's something too, is that as nice as it is to have a plan, sometimes it's nice to just let something evolve and happen too. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So what I'm wanting to accomplish here is a little bit of like an interesting wavy thing or something. So I'm going to go 1, 2, and then I'm going to finish off coiling this length. So now this one, I'm actually going to cut just a bit off of it to where it's the length of my fingertip, which is roughly 1 inch. I'm going to grab it as close to the tip of the pliers and the tip of the wire as I can. And just kind of tighten and coil that down. I'm going to coil this bend around that one. Test and see how it's looking over the stone. Ooh, you so pretty little rock. So from here, let's see if we can't. Just getting some coiling going. And again, I'm trying to get those curves to follow along with each other as much as is possible. I think that's plenty actually. So I'm going to trim this little bit. I'll be able to use it as like a stabilizing or grounding wire later. Snip just a little past the tip. And then I'm going to grab this one right there. Kind of torquing my arm around. And just start spiraling it in. A little bit snugger of a spiral than that. Y'all, I am pretty pleased with that. Okay, so now I'm going to take this little bit of wire that I'm now realizing I could have just left on, but I'm going to fold it in half. Use my round nose pliers to put just a gentle bend in it. Don't grip too much because it might like snap the wire. But now I'm going to thread. I'm going to bring it up to the camera again. You can see I'm going to thread one end through that little loop, that we made for the spiral, and then the other end's going to go on the other side of it. So whenever we pull down, it's actually hooking that spiral. Like, do you see how that works? You can actually come in a couple of coils to get it to be extra stable. Sorry, didn't mean to go off camera. Maybe. Ow, get out of my eyeballs, bug. Okay. So yeah, there we go. Looks just like that. Now we're going to wrap around to the back side and pretend like we know what we're doing, but we really don't. So I'm going to come up in between maybe rows 2 and 3, if I can fit it. Well, shoot, maybe rows 3 and 4. Four and 5? Okay, there we go. I can fit it through 4 and 5. I was really hoping I could fit it between. There we go. I just do much better looking at it from the front right now. So I'm just gripping these wires with my hands and just pulling it on through. And that's basically going to stabilize our weaving. So now I'm separating these 2 wires, and I'm going to take one of them and I'm going to come down and around. Like, I'm basically just stitching it down. I want to be really careful that it does not get kinked, because this wire's been worked with quite a bit. You can use your bent nose pliers if you like. And I only really need like 2 or 3 rotations on each side, but I just want to make sure it's nice and grounded. Yep, just coming on through like that. And I'm actually not going to trim this off yet, because who knows what I might need to do to ground something later on. I'm actually going to grip this and make sure I've got a nice tight, there we go. Tightened it down just a little bit more to make sure that that wire sits in, because you want it to look like, gee, how did they even do that? I don't want people to see it and be like, oh, well, that's where she joined it. Like, hide your stitching kind of stuff. Okay. So just looping around a bit. I'm having a hard time getting this one in between 4 and 5, so I'm going to try between 3 and 4. Get on my face, bug. Stay away from my coffee. Yeah, between 3 and 4 has worked. Okay, so it's 1 stitch. We might just leave it at that for now. So this is how that's looking. Oh, I'm so pleased. I do still want to do a tree on it. So So the way I'm going to do a tree, and I gotta figure out how to do real quick, is I'm going to cut a couple of 8-inch long, 8 to 10-inch long lengths of the 26 gauge wire. Why do I do this to myself? Okay. This is going to be really difficult, but we can do this, you guys, because it's going to be so awesome. You know, I think I should probably give myself a little bit more wire than this, just because I'd hate to come up short. So let's make it a solid foot, y'all. I can't even see to trim my wires. My depth perception is all wonky. Okay. We got this, though. How many am I cutting? I don't know. I'll show you in a sec. We'll figure out how many we need right now. So, what did I just drop? Okay. So, in between, and we come back up to show you this, I'm going to be threading this little 26 gauge wire up through in between the base of right here in the weave. Or maybe if I thread from the front, because there should be just enough little space there. See how that came through? And then you can grip it with your pliers. I'm going to pull it through to like the halfway point, then pull the back side up to the front. But that is how I'm going to do each of the roots coming up into the tree. So I'm going to sit down and do that. And I'm not entirely sure how many of these I'm going to do. I mean, obviously I don't want to do it like all the way around, because then I won't have anywhere for the branches. But this would be so cool. You could link little pieces through like this for like a dream catcher. That would be so cute. So I know, like, I've stitched beads on like this in that Piercite pendant with the silver and the copper. I don't know why I keep trying to push up from the back. That's my embroidery habits coming through. Usually I always do like 10 like wires. So we'll see how many this gets us and then go from there. Because I want the tree to kind of grow up the side of the leaf, if that makes sense. So I think I'm only going to do 4 on this side. And I'm just it's making it so much easier to just get in there and open it up with my fingernails. And then come through after the fact and like get it all snugged up together again. And right now you can see I'm just threading them through and folding them in half. I'm not doing anything else fancy yet. Yeah, I'm really glad I decided to start cutting myself some more wire though. Open it up, thread it through. This is pretty fun, you guys. I hope y'all are having fun. I'm having a blast. This is worth staying up for. And push on through. And pull on through. Okay. So that gave us, we have 6. 7. 8. 10. Try and not make a tangled mess out of my life. There we go. Because, I mean, if this isn't a mass of wire, then I don't know what is. We've had worse here on YouTube, I think. A bunch of us hanging out making jewelry. We've made bigger messes. That doesn't mean that this one isn't still daunting, but just one wire at a time, you guys. You got this. Okay. Sorry, dance break. I still don't know why you guys hang out with me. I actually think I'm only going to do 9, maybe. Maybe. We'll see. Because I'm wondering, like, I really don't want to distort the frame whenever I start tightening down the tree. So that'll definitely be something to keep in mind. Okay, so I want it to grow up the side here. So I'm going to start with the roots over yonder, here on the far side. And I'm going to pick one segment of roots, which that's the wire that we just added. And I'm gonna twist them like they're a twist tie. Which is a tangled mess. So let's get all these guys just bunched up over there and just focus on these ones. And now I'm gonna grab the next root. And I'm going to twist tie it as well. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4 rotations. Now these two are going to get twisted into each other like they're friends. Join them up where the twists stop and go 1, 2. Now these two are going to get twisted together. This one's just a short little guy, so it's going to go 1, 2, and then this one. So help me, I will set you on fire. Okay. Sorry. Frustration. 1, 2, 3. And so then these two little guys will get wrapped around each other like they're friends. No, they won't. This one's going to get wrapped into these ones like they are friends. We are good friends now. So kind of bending it up a bit to be able to get it to reach this one. So then twist and twist, and then this one's going to get twisted a bit more. Sorry, I didn't mean to go off camera. Well, I'm like standing here next to the camera just wobbling side to side talking to my wire tree about how we're friends now. So, yeah, please forgive me if I go off camera. So then these guys over here, I'm just going to twist like boop, boop, 3 little twists. And then it's going to start getting wrapped in with the rest of the tree. Two, 3, and I try to keep adding the wire in from the same direction. Like these guys, I'm keep adding them in from the back because it makes it look more cohesive than if I added it in from the front. And like going against the grain of the twist, I guess. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, just because. And now adding it in and giving everybody a twist. What a twist. And now these two, 1, 2, 3, and this guy right here, they are going to be friends. They're going to get twisted together. And, I mean, there's no right and wrong way to do this, guys. Like, we can do whatever we want. Just whatever makes us happy. And Sleepy Vaughn wants these two roots to be friends. Speaking of friends, that's something I was talking about a little bit earlier with y'all, was that in the past year, since pursuing like setting daily goals or daily uploads as a goal here on YouTube, like, it's completely changed our life, you guys, for Randy and I. Like, thank you so much for being part of the process. So you can see how that's kind of coming around. And they're all straight right now, but we'll deal with that shortly. I'm actually going to sit, that way I'll stay on frame a little. I can't believe I've uploaded a video a day for a year. I mean, I think I might have missed like a day here and there, but some days I've uploaded twice. So, I mean, I think that's pretty cool. Okay. So now, I guess this one's going to get twisted off. Maybe 4 branches together. Yeah. So 1, 2. And then that's going to get branched off into 2, getting wrapped. 1, 2, 3. And this guy's not going to have any leaves. He's just a tree with branches. 2, 3, 4. So there's that. And so now, well, I guess I should have had him climb a little higher up in the tree. That way there's a nice distinction between the branches and the, and you can twist them a little further and then untwist. I find that gives the branches really interesting kind of natural variance in their patterning. So I'm going to skip 2 little holes, and then I'm going to start inserting the little wires back in there to the frame. It's so pretty. Now I have no idea how I'm going to bind this off though, guys. Oh my gosh. And then I'm going to go in there. Boop. Pull it on through. I guess I'm going to use these back wires to attach the back, like hold the stone on. Yeah, I think that'll be what we do. So now I'm gonna keep, am I even in frame? I'm gonna set this down and check and make sure. Yeah, I'm in frame. Okay, good. I was worried. I'm gonna twist this one down until it comes to the edge of the frame. And then I'm going to open it up some more. That way it has that nice little natural crinkling. You know, I think, can I fit 2 through this hole right here? That would be super cool. Because then, I don't know, that's just what I want to do. Maybe if I could see straight, there we go. Wow. And now this one's going to come up into this hole right here. Say something, I'll give you a bone. I'll be the one who want me to. I like it, y'all. I'm pretty excited. I think I keep saying that, but I still feel that way. I'm feeling so small, still starting to. So this spiral's kind of in the way. I'm just going to lift him up like that, and hopefully that won't ruin everything. So I'm doing this again where I've got 4 wires, and I'm going to twist. There's sectioned off into 2 sections, so I'm just going to twist a couple of twists, and then I'm going to have them break off into smaller branches still. And I'm going to twist these guys all the way down to where they'll intercept the frame, like that. But then I'm going to open them back up. That way they have that nice little, like, wild crinkling. The simple grow, you cut it down, and you never know. To the blue corner. Okay, so I was able to fit 2 branches, and that makes me so happy. Only need the light when it's burning low. Only miss the sun when it starts to snow. Only know you love her when you let her go. Only know you can hide when you're feeling low. Only hit the road when you're missing home. Only know you love her when you let her go. And you let her go. Staring at your ceiling in the dark. Same old thing, different when you fly. And it goes so fast. Yay! It went through. I was afraid I was gonna have to fight that one. Down tighter. Understand why everything you touch showing down. Get through there, you blasted wire. There we go. Yay for bent nose pliers, you guys. Like, I don't even know what I would do if I did not have bent nose pliers. I would be sad. Probably. Like, that's a very broad statement, but like, oh, and the little spiral kind of looks like a moon, you guys. That's so nice. Okay, breaking this further into sets of branches. So it's going to come around. I think I might do some branches twisted onto this spirally piece. Maybe. I don't know. Hey, Randy, can I show this to you?
Whoa.
You like it?
Yeah, that's awesome.
Look at the rock it's going to go on.
Oh, very good.
You like it?
Mm-hmm.
Yay! Okay, so doing this again where we're breaking off into 2 sets of branches, and they're gonna get twisted together like this, like just like that. And now this one is going to get divided into I have no idea where it's going to go yet. I just know I'm going to twist it like this. And then I'm going to untwist it. Like, y'all, I can't go to bed until I get done with this piece. It's gonna drive me crazy. I've gotta finish it. Got to. Yeah, I'm gonna have to lift that spiral back up. I typically try to not keep bending stuff like that, but I also keep changing my mind. So that's a big hooray for a dead soft wire that I can keep kind of wrenching it around like that, and it doesn't, you know, it doesn't begrudge me too much. Just enough of it's poking through the back. I can grab it with my good old bent nose pliers and then just pull it on through. Okay, so that one still getting kind of hidden behind. Some of these I think are going to get tucked into something else. Like holding on to a different part of the frame or something. Like that one just doesn't have anybody to hold on to. Poor wire. You can hold on to me, wire. So this one's going to get opened up a good bit more. Let it go. So this is going to get pushed through to the back. I don't know why I have such sad songs stuck in my head today. And they're weird. They're like happy sad songs, if that makes sense. Like, I don't know. They're sad, but it makes me happy to sing them. Does that make sense? Yeah. It doesn't have to make sense. Come on, wire. Get through there. There we go. Now here on this one you can see, maybe, the wire has come through to just in between some of the wires on this side. And so now I'm actually going to be feeding down through. It's covered up by that pretty spirally bit, but it lets me stabilize it. Okay, so now, we're getting into the last bits of the wire, you guys. I'm going to twist just a little further. And I think on these last three, it's not going to go off into a 4-to-2 branching. It's just going to every branch for themselves. Well, it's going to get branched off into 2s. That way I can still do this cute little twisty all the way to the end, and then backtracking a little. Y'all, this is the first tree I've ever made like this. I've admired so many people's work that's like very similar to this, but I didn't know exactly like how they did it, so I'm really glad to have come through and kind of figured that out. And I love those spirals. Oh, dang it. I really wanted to sell this, and now I want to keep it. Artist problems. Yeah, you know what I mean. Now this one has come out way too far, actually. And what I mean by that is, let me get this pulled through and I'll show you. I have a big gap right there. So what I want to do is I want to take, looks like these 2 wires, I can push them through to the back. They're going to fill in that space. So I guess I lied to you guys. I'm so sorry. I am going to have these 2 sets of wires be all twisty with each other like they're friends to fill in that big gap. Yep, just like that. I'm just bringing it all the way down to the end and then coming back up. To give it that cute little crinkly effect. I love that. You know, and sometimes this is my problem a little bit, is that it's like in my head, I was like, oh, I'll just make something that I can sell for like $40 out of the booth. And then this happens. I can't sell this for $40. Randy would skin me alive.
Mm-hmm.
I was telling them that whenever I sat down to make this, I was like, I just want to make something that we can sell for like $40.
I would skin you alive.
You would skin me alive. And, you know, honestly, I don't think I'd blame you. Like, I'm really excited about how this one has come out. But now I don't know where to stabilize these wires to. So I'm going to wait on those because we might be able to figure something out. No, I'm not. I got to figure it out now. Oh, this is just a blurry tangle of mess. Come on, eyeballs, we can do this. So I'm just going to kind of keep poking through. That's stabilized down so I can't move it out of the way. Poking through from the back side. Just interweaving between the same base wires that I used to stabilize that loop down. I'm just kind of threading it through and then threading it back through, hoping that I actually grabbed a wire. And I did. Yes. Okay, so there's one stabilized. 3 more. Let's do this. So it actually worked out very much to my benefit that that little wire ended up being over there. Ooh. Okay. Got 2 more wires, y'all. We can do it. And this is where, I mean, at this point in the project, it's like just a haphazardous, just get it stabilized. So I've got this wire here. I'm actually going to wrap around. I think that's the same direction that the weaving was happening. And tighten. There's 1 rotation. And there's 2 rotations. And this one's going to come up and go 1. Okay, so ignore the huge of wire coming off the top. And let's just focus on what we've accomplished so far. This is pretty exciting. Eee. Okay, next step, more coffee. Wowzers. Oh my gosh. Okay. Whew. So to stabilize this, I have the intent of just making it a little bit more 3D. I want this leaf actually to just kind of sit there on the back. I don't think that's unreasonable. And I have this length of wire here that I actually think I'm going to thread through the leaf down here on the tip. because I definitely have enough wire to stabilize it up there towards the top of the canopy of the tree, but there's not a whole lot going on down here at the base, and that's really where I need a lot of stabilization to be happening. So I'm going to bring this up to the camera to make sure that you guys can see kind of what I'm doing. So I've threaded it through our leaf here. You know, and I don't even need the cabochon in there right now. I'm just going to thread through from behind on this most external wire. Oh snap. Is that how I'm going to add it in? That might be how I add it in, you guys. Because you know how we talked about doing that bead edging? That I don't know if I want to do it yet, actually. You know, and I hate it when that happens. It kinked. I got lazy and did not take the kink out. Excuse me. And now I don't think it's going to go through, and even if it does, it's going to be a real mess. Like, that is going to turn into a break. So before I go any further, I'm going to save myself the trouble and just set that aside. I'll use it for something else. I'm going to pull myself off a fresh piece of wire. Pretty decent length here. And let's see. I have a piece of, well, a 3mm bead, a 4mm moss agate, and another 3mm copper bead. I'm gonna bring this to the center of my wrapping wire, my 26 gauge. And I'm actually gonna take both ends of this and thread them through our little tip here. And bring that down nice and centered. And have that sit just like that off the end. I am in complete and total love with this. Oh my gosh. Why? I just wanted to make something for sale. Why did you come out so perfect? I hate you, you beautiful piece of jewelry. I don't really hate it, guys. I'm just going through the grieving process of, oh gosh, am I gonna have to keep this one? I don't know. Like, I really needed inventory, but this is so pretty. And it, like, totally speaks to my heart. Okay, so now I'm just threaded on a 4mm moss agate. And I'm just going to keep kind of wrapping, like it's stitched on, and then I'm going to do a grounding stitch without a bead on it. Just like that. Threaded through. So I'm going to do that on both sides. I'm going to keep it nice and squared up. Yeah, that twist there is about to turn into a kink. I'm not going to be lazy this time. I'm going to open it back up, that way it doesn't try to ruin my life. That's being dramatic. But y'all know what I mean, though. Every single one of y'all crafters watching this knows exactly what I mean. Whenever it's like, oh no, my life is ruined. And it's just for like, it's temporary, but you're like 2 seconds away from setting your craft room on fire. Maybe? I don't know. Maybe that's just me. So this is stitched around, and so now I've gotten it up to where they're symmetrical on either side. Symmetrical-ish. Yeah, I like that. I think I'm gonna dig out some of the like 1.5mm copper beads as well. I don't really know where to put these that they won't get lost. Uh-oh. Yeah, that'll work. As good a spot as any, honestly. Excuse me. Excuse me. Oh, sneezing will wake me up. That's good. Okay. So now these wires that I used to stitch on these beads are exiting towards the back. So now I'm going to thread up through these two little holes in our leaf, or whatever you're using. It doesn't have to be this leaf. It's just some charm that I had that I thought was cute. Okay, not those holes, wrong holes. It brings it down too far. So I'm just going to go through the center here. Or maybe I'm just going to wait a while, because I want it to be like right here. So yeah, I'll need to come out until it's like a couple more beads. Okay. So I'm going to thread on one of these little 2mm beads. And stitch around. And I got one stitch with the bead on it, and then one stitch with no bead. And then I'm going to go back up to a 3mm. Like, guys, my heart is breaking at this pendant. It's just, to make something and to know I'm going to have to let it go. But it's so pretty. Like, so pretty. Okay. You know, I don't think I want that bead right there. I think I'm gonna take that off. Come here, bead. I'm gonna try to be real gentle with it because I do not want to break my wire. There we go. Hey, bug. Sorry, as we keep the windows open sometimes, and gnats and flies and wasps and moths and all kinds of stuff get in. Okay, yeah. I don't think I'm going to do a completely beaded edge, but I love, boop, that right there. Like, I never thought I could make jewelry like this, you guys. Whenever I first started making jewelry, and it's not even done. This isn't even its final form, but it's, wow. If I could go back and tell my younger self, keep doing it, you can do this, you got this. What encouragement that might have been. Okay. Oh, little bead ran away on me. So it's like, because I did not start out wrapping stuff like this, y'all. Like, not even close. It was, I had fun though, you know? And really that's the point. It's like, because if you're not having fun, then like, why? Okay, I'm going to go ahead and slide the cabochon in to help keep the leaf, like put it in context of where everything needs to be. And I'm going to do just one side first. I've got the leaf stabilized. And I'm going to tighten that down. And I'm going to do another stitch or two to keep this side nice and stabilized. Okay, so now this one is going to come around. Oh, that's not fair. Three. Okay, so now from here, I'm gonna hook it from behind. Pull that down nice and tight. And again, I don't want to distort, you know, the front shape. I just want to keep it nice and snug. That way nothing's going to be running away on me. And you could use, if you don't have a charm like this, you could use a gear. You could use a Celtic knot charm. You could make a spiral, like just a metal spiral out of some 18 gauge wire. Like infinite possibilities, y'all. Ooh, I want to do, oh, so close. Saved it. I was gonna say, I want to do one that has a net bezel, because this, you know, if I can do stitches like this through the edge of this weave, I can do a net bezel. You know, because it's basically the same thing. Gosh, it's a crazy mess up there. I have no idea what I'm gonna do with all that. So I think with this piece here, I've got to start taking steps sometime to keep it all. And that's what we do, you guys. It's one wire at a time. We can do this. So I'm just bending that around. I'm going to go ahead and just coil it in. But we'll be able to join, and I'll actually use some of this wire, sans the kink. Again, kind of folding it in half, feeding up one half behind the leaf, and feeding up one half behind the spiral. And just gonna join them together like that. You know, I say that, but it's, you know, just however it happens. But your pendant, if you're crafting along with me, might look completely different right now. So do just whatever you need to do to get everything to stay where you want it to be. That's part of the fun and the forced creativity of this. So my fine nose. Get your butt up in there, wire. Shoot up. But doing, you know, different pieces like this, it'll really come out just a little different every time. There we go. I think I'm going to do one more rotation on this, and then I'll bring it in close to the camera so that you can see. Well, that one went nice and easy. Maybe I'll do another rotation still. Because it's like it was getting stubborn, and I was like, oh, well, I guess I'll just do one more. Yeah, that. Am I dreaming? Oh my god, what if I fell asleep and this is a dream? Randy, am I awake?
You seen the ruler?
Yes, it's right there. I'm presuming I'm awake. This better not, because we're being productive and like, oh god, I don't think I'm asleep. Ah, worth it. I get to wake up and make this again. That'll be nice. Problem is it probably won't come out like this ever again. I don't think I should make videos when I'm sleepy anymore. I mean, it's too late for this one, but snipping the wire, kind of smushing that tail down, making sure there's no pokey bits. No pokey bits. Yeah, no pokey bits at all. There we go. Now I'm just going to bend this piece around to come up through the little stem of the leaf. So now you can see how that came together on the back side. Now, I mean, it's still not stabilized. I mean, I don't think it's going to pop out, but it's definitely, it is not as nice, and I don't want any wiggling. No wiggling. So this gives us a wonderful opportunity to I'm gonna stitch. This is the same wire that it was used to put these beads on. I'm gonna do another stitch or two. And we can just come through, putting a little bit of bend in the wire, and hook through that loop right there, where the little leaf charm was joined together. Coming in from this other side, I'm gonna do a few more stitches. And I'm going to come in from the other angle. Well, I'm going to come up through this part first. A little bit more stability, maybe. I'm just throwing beads at this point. come up behind little leaf stem loop. Yeah, I really want this a little bit more open than what it ended up being. Oh boy, what am I gonna do with all of these? Because most of them are just like threaded through, so that tree's almost loose. Okay, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do at least 3 or 4 bind offs here on this outer edge. And that's on the externalmost wire. I'm just coming through. I'll come up close so you can see. So this is where the wire came out. So I'm just coming around and feeding up right through there. So there's 1, 2, 3, and 4. And this next one, I'm actually going to start a little higher up, that way they'll stack on each other. Oh, don't tell me you won't fit through, you're killing me. There we go. 1. 2. 3. Oops. Yeah, 3 is probably fine for that one. 3 or 4. Like 3 is the minimum, I think. There's 1. 2. 3. 4. And there's 1. 2. Grr. Please go through the thingy. 3. 3. I'll just leave it at that. Okay, so this one here, there's 1. 2. 3. If y'all hear that clicking in the background, that's Randy being productive, making some chainmail. He's so good, you guys. 1, 2, 3, I think he's listening to like some stand-up comedians on Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
4. Are you listening to comedians again?
Mm-hmm.
Right on. Is it a good one this time?
He's not bad.
Well, that's good. Okay, I'm coming around to the other side now. 1, 2. 3. 4. So I'm going to bring this one around. You know, it was another stabilizing wire, and it's going to, I'm going to weave it the remainder, like maybe like 5 or 6 if I can fit it, just whatever I can fit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I think that takes care of us as far as this one's gonna get, this is that other stabilizing wire. This one's gonna get threaded through on this side. I'm gonna sit down for a little bit. I think I'm gonna sleep good tonight, you guys. 3. I hope I don't wake up in the morning and this is like horrible. And all my weaving's wonky, overlayered, and all my wires are bent wrong, and the cab's broke, and just worst case scenario, everything is a disaster. Okay, we're getting there, guys. So now, I'm not going to trim these yet. I want to do the tightening down of the tree first, and I can't do that until I get just a little further with what's going on here. I'm going to trim this wonky tip off. I don't know if I'm going to edit this out, but I think I might at least fast forward it some. We'll see how that goes. To my true love, and oh, I wasn't supposed to cut that yet. Well, hopefully it'll be alright. And gently falls You know, I have not even thought about how I'm going to attach this to the necklace. Dang it. 2, 3, 4, and 5. And a day had passed, and a ghost did rise and speak. I do see on my grave, and cannot let me see. Inside my own true love that sits around your grave. I ask one kiss of your sweet lips, and that is all I crave. My breath is cold as the clay, my breath is earthly strong, and if you kiss my cold clay lips, your days they won't be long. How often yonder great sweetheart, when we were once too long, the fairest flower that e'er I saw has withered to the stars. When will we meet again, sweetheart? When will we meet again? When the autumn leaves that fall from trees are green and spring up again. When will we meet again, sweetheart? When will we meet again? When the autumn leaves that fall from trees are green and spring up again. Oh wow, y'all. Okay, so it is time to use our pliers and come through. I'm gonna bring this up so you can hopefully see nice and close. I don't know if the cam is blurry or if that's just my eyes. And I'm just gonna grab some of the wires and kind of just twist and like that. Sound effects can be helpful. And you don't want to twist it so much that they like break, but you definitely want to give it, I mean, some character here. This is your creation. Make it however inspires you. Just a little bit of like wonky, you know, patterning in the trunk and the tree and the I don't want any branches to look straight, because I've never met a tree, well, some trees have perfectly straight branches, but for the most part, most of the trees in my life are crooked characters. There we go. So that kind of, I don't know, makes it look kind of fun. I like it. Okay, so now from here, now that we've done that tightening, I'm going to come in and snip just as close as I can on a couple of these and use my bent nose pliers to twist it around and make sure that there's no pokey bits whatsoever. You don't want any of that. I've had an idea for attaching it. Think about, we've got this wire here. I'm going to pull off the length. I'm going to do a little bit more of this weaving up top. Oh goodness. Again, it's a case of I just wanted to make something affordable. What happened? And I'm just going to function off the spool on this one, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Compact that down. Tuck the tail around, because why not? Because I'm bleary-eyed and tired, that's why not.
Well, the last two were pretty funny.
Oh yeah? His jokes or the last two comedians?
Last two comedians.
Right on. Sorry, in case y'all can't hear, I'm talking to Randy. He's not just a figment of my imagination. He's over there like, yeah, I am. Well then, I am like a champion at streaming Netflix while wire wrapping from across the room. With my brain powers.
Nobody tell her that Netflix isn't really a thing.
What? Don't mess with me, Randy. 3, 4, 5. And I'm just repeating the same motif that I did earlier. Where 5 around 1, 2 around 2. So there's 2, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 1, 2. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 1, 2. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So I think I'm actually going to snip this right there, like a centimeter. The one that just has the 2 wires around it, I'm snipping about a centimeter past where the wrapping stops. And I'm going to start coiling this, coiling this in into a spiral. And I'm going to bring this around just a hair, you know. Ooh, I should have given it way more space. So before deepening it that around all the way, I am going to go ahead and just keep making more coil on this one. And I want that nice and flat. I'm going to deepen this in just a hair. I mean, that's coming in like that. Now I can maybe some squiggles. I don't know. Yeah, it's gonna have a squiggle. Why not? So this is gonna be a squiggle, and I'm gonna end it on a spiral. It's raining. Maybe. I don't know. Okay, I'm gonna leave myself about 3 inches of wire. And I'm gonna come in and do a nice little spiral coming down off the side here. And deepen in that squiggle just a bit. And now I have this very handy dandy little wire coming off of here that I can just thread down through and get that stabilized right from the get-go instead of having to incorporate in another wire. In theory. There it goes. Using my nylon jaw pliers to keep that kind of flat so you can see what's going on. Uh-oh, which wire was my grounding wire? There it was. There's quite a few wires going on back here. Tighten down once more. I think that'll do this. Oh, what's once more still? Except for good measure. So that one I can now snip just as flush as I can get it. Make sure there's no little pokey bits. So there's that. Now with this one right here, I think I'd like to do I'm going to trim this wire. I'm going to bring it up actually so y'all can see what I'm doing. This was just one of the stabilizing wires. Trimmed that one. There's another wire here. I'm going to trim that one. And then another wire here. I'm going to trim that one. Do my best to keep all of those tucked up just nice and tight. And on this wire, I think I would like to do a rondel. I'm going to sit so you guys can watch. Pushed down. A 4mm bead. Push down there to the rondel. A bead cap. Oh, let me dig out a 6mm moss agate. I'm gonna pick a real pretty one. You right there, you look perfect. Then another bead cap. Another darkish moss agate. I'm trying to think. I don't know what I'm doing. Yeah, I'm gonna put a rondel on this. Just right there. I want to feed this guy up through the back of this one. Not through the center of the spiral, but through the edge of it. And that's going to be a loop. And I'm not going to cut it shorter. I'm going to double spiral it down and put it kind of on the back, so you can see maybe how that happened. And that'll be what one of the links attaches to. I'm just gonna do I'm gonna spiral on this, or coil on this one a bit. And about 2 inches worth of coiling. Get all kinked and crazy, so I'm just going to snip it. So now I'm going to take this and I'm going to feed it up through right here, if it'll fit. Curse my luck, it won't. Okay, never mind. So now I'm just going to do a regular old spiral, I guess. Squeezing that down just a bit. And just cinching on and around. Now this is not a load-bearing spiral, but I still want it to be nice and tight and kind of, you know what it's doing with its life. I'm going to take this little bit of wire and snip it off. and I am going to stabilize it to around where these beads are. Because I think that's a good idea. And I'm tightening it down to make sure that if you can see here where it's overlapping right there, I can take it and tighten it. Oops, maybe in theory. And like just kind of settle it in between the grooves of the coiling. And that way, again, it makes it quite subtle. So now I'm gonna just thread back through the way that I came to make sure that the coils, you know, because I want this to sit right. I think that just kinked, but it should be okay. There we go, excellent. Excellent, there we go. Okay, so now that's not going to come away nearly as much as it would have. Snip that nice and close. Just coming through, snipping these wires that are all taken care of. No poopy bits. I'm going to try my best to not cut anything that's important, like one of the stabilizing wires that I just fortunately dodged. Okay. So now I have this wire. I'm going to repeat that same motif, albeit a bit differently. I don't, that's not my favorite part right there. We'll see. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And I'm going to be wasteful and just trim this little tail because I don't feel like dealing with it. I'm going to slide that down all the way. And I'm going to go 1, 2, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I'm going to go 1 and 2. And then I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then I'm going to go 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2. And I'm going to go ahead and cut the wire just boop, right there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, I think you can see I started curving it around. I think right here is where I'm going to stop incorporating this one. And I'm just going to finish up my spiral. So let me... 1, 2. There we go. And I'm going to trim that back, just like that. And I'll cinch that down and around. I'm going to trim about 5 millimeters past where the coiling stops. And just spiral it in. Once I get as far as the pliers can take me, I'm just going to grab it with my fingers and do it like that. This is going to follow around. And then I'm just going to, it does look like I could take like a centimeter off. There we go. I'm going to grab it about halfway up the nose on my pliers. And I'm just, I mean, it's coming out real loose and wonky. There we go. Spiraling around like this to where it meets on the other side. And I think this is going to be where my chain hooks on. If it will fit, which it seems to be fitting. Open up, which one's bigger? This one's bigger. Put this end. Put it through. Y'all, I'm so excited. This is not what I planned, but this is what happened, and I think that's okay. Let me hold it up and see how long it is. Oh, that's real nice. Okay. So now I'm gonna do I mean just a little bit of extender chain to give myself something to hook onto. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So then I'm going to close 1. Oh gosh, I'm tired. Okay. So just get on there. Okay. 2. 3. 4. 5. Okay, so from here, I'm going to take this, and I'm just going to hook it like this, and I'm going to close it, and I'm going to close it. Oh my gosh, you guys. Okay, so I stood up, I finished the necklace, and I stood up to hit stop, and the phone was dead. And I was like, what? Like, so fortunately, the only thing that y'all missed was me finishing up this chain and making just a real simple little hook clasp. Let me get my hand out of the way. Just a little clasp like that, if you can see. But I'm so tired. I can't even get my necklace on. There it goes. I'm so excited about this necklace, you guys. Like, I don't know if I should keep it or not, because that's, I mean, we really need inventory in the booth so I can, like, pay bills and stuff, but it's so pretty. I'm going to bed. But thank you guys so much for hanging out with me for this video, for this tutorial that went way off the tracks into something that I didn't even imagine that I could make. And I'm really glad to have been able to share the process with y'all, hopefully not having lost any footage. So if you guys enjoy my free tutorials and would like to support the creation of more of them, as well as participate in my fairy house giveaways, then please check me out on Patreon. There's a link down in the video description below. Gosh, that's just, I can't wait to see what y'all make off of this video. But yeah, there's links to my Patreon down in the video description below. Please like, share, subscribe, tell your friends, spread the word. You know, super cool though. Okay, have a beautiful day, you guys. I'll see you around. Bye.